Good morning. This is C.Chen from Appalachian State University in North Carolina of the United States of America. It's my honor and also my privilege to be invited as one of your guest speakers today. For today, I would like to share with you an international perspective of drone applications. There are 4 things I would like to go over with you before I open for the Q&A. The first, I'd like to give you a quick overview of the global drone market. Second, I want to give you an update with the current drone application in different areas. Once you have a broader perspective of the global drone market and its drone applications, I want to provide you with a holistic perspective of drone industry from the supply chain perspective. With a supply chain perspective drone industry, we could be in a better position to assess and judge the future development of the drone industries. And lastly, I will open to the floor for Q&A. So first, let's look at the overview of the global drone markets. As you can tell, the study from the drone2.com, the drone market size is growing. It's growing at the annual growth rate of 20.5%. It was estimated the drone market size based on the drone the revenue. It was about $14.1 billion back in 2018. But it's going to grow 3 times more by the year 2024 to $43.1 billion. Another interesting finding from this research is that Asia is the largest drone market, followed by North America and Europe. In case you don't know, the China and USA 2 market alone represents 2/3 of the drone revenue in the drone market. Another interesting finding is when you look closely at the Asian market, the drone market, the Indian is catching up fast. Okay, it's estimated by year 2024, India is going to become the 3rd largest drone markets around the world. Furthermore, this study also pointed out the energy is the largest industry embracing the drone application, followed by transportation, warehousing, agriculture, and construction, the segments. Last finding of this research was about the service and software. These 2 segments in the drone market are going to become the largest and also the fastest growing segment of the drone market. So these are all the important findings for you to get an idea about the prospect of the drone market. And as you can tell, based on this research, there are tons of business opportunity waiting for anyone interested in being involved in the drone markets. So that's a good news for us, for all the audience in the global forums. I'm going to share the slide with you. So here are the quick, the points, major points of what I just mentioned to you. Okay, I'm going to share those things with you after my presentation. The second item I'd like to go over with you are to give you a list of drone applications in different areas. So here I would like to, I categorize all the drone applications in 5 of the major categories. The first 2 categories are about recreation and educational application. The second, it's about agricultural application. The third one is about commercial, and last one is about military application. So let's see what kind of application that have been, continuously evolving in each of those 4 areas. Let's look at recreational and educational drone application. What a fun! Just by looking at the list, now you know that users, particularly those lovers, of the drone technology, they couldn't wait to have fun, playing the drone. So here, the first thing that you've been seeing is they actually team up with each other and learn how to fly a drone together in the local community. And they even set up a flying club, right? And so you can actually join people like you join a baseball, the team. And so every weekend you can go out and fly a drone together. Not only that, people been using the drone to map out their property in a 3D dimensional. Okay. Also, the people who are having pets nowadays has outgrown the number of population, and so you can tell people love having pets. Except pets, sometimes they wander around, and you will not be able to find them. So guess what? People start using drone and to look for their lovely pets. And of course, you probably also have some experience as I have done. I like to bring drone with me and doing my hiking, and so I can take a beautiful area photo and videos. Okay, so you have done any of those fun experience? Welcome to the club. We are doing the drone for recreational purpose. But one very interesting recreational drone application is about the 3D, combining 3D virtual reality technology or automatic reality technology with the drone. Okay, so one thing that's gaining global, the recognition is they try to have a drone and use the drone for gaming purpose. Okay, for gaming. In Taiwan, the gaming is really popular. Lots of people like to play game, online game. Except, what if you set up a real field, a virtual field, where people can actually operate a drone with a virtual reality goggle and fly a drone for competition. Okay, and so that actually is becoming very popular. The gaming sports for lots of young people around the world. So here I'm going to quickly show you short clips of the called Drone League competition. So you get an idea about how you can combine the virtual reality and with the drone for a gaming business. It's fun watching this. Wow. The roller coaster, you can fly drone anywhere. Okay, and some of the video you are looking at is real, and some are not. Okay, so how will you be able to combine the real racer field with virtual reality and actually allow people to have a competition and have a fun gaming experience? This is something new. Okay, and hopefully that we also have some team from Taiwan to join this DRL. Okay. And let's continue to look at the other fun recreational drone application. For instance, people like to have a special event, wedding events, right? And so they try to hire some freelancer and to come and take some aerial photograph or videos, for those events. In case you don't know, you actually can get paid for up to $100 to $200 an hour. Just by taking some aerial photo or video for some wedding events. I personally like to also use my drone, to fly over the roof, not only for my own house but also for my neighbor, and to check, if there's any damage to the roof or is there any debris on their gutters, right? And try to do some service for the community. And so my neighbor always love, me doing that for them. So those are the recreational drone applications that I found very interesting. Also, this year in February, I was very fortunate to meet with the drone team from National Iran University, and with their help, enthusiastic support, we were able to actually launch a 5-day global and digital leadership camps. And guess what we have done there? We teach the high schoolers from Jiayi, and we let them we let them come to Iran, and then we set up a camp, and where all the faculty and TA from the drone center at the National Iran University, and came to train those high schoolers and become a professional pilot. Not only that, they train them to use the drone for agriculture, and also try to solve the sustainable issue and make sure that they can help the local farmer learn how to do a better plan in terms of coping, and so they can grow their business and make profit. Okay, so here's a quick video with some highlights of our camp I'd like to share with you, and hopefully you have a better idea about that drone can also use for educational purpose. Okay, so let's watch it a little bit. So here comes. So as you can tell, we were at the Dongsanhe in Yilan, and the camp was held in February. We will stay in this hotel, and we use the drone to map out the building. And these are all the teaching assistants from international teaching assistants from National Yilan University and other national universities. And all the students stay here for 5 days. And what they've been trying to do is they learn how to use the Google Earth and also a drone to pick a piece of land for farming purpose. But what they have to do is, when they provided the crop plants, they need to decide what kind of crops to grow in different seasons, and with the purpose of optimizing the revenue and productivity for local farmers. And this is another practice that I have tried to do with the drone, and to make up an object in three-dimensional purpose. And thanks to all the professional trainer from the drone center at National Yilan University, the other high schoolers from Jiayi were able to learn how to fly a drone on their own. Okay, so this is like most of. So when I had a chance to ask all the participants, also high schoolers, what is the most memorable experience they have had from the global and digital camp? And guess what? It's a drone flying experience. Okay, so this is just an interesting example to show you that with some creative mind, anyone can turn drones into educational tools and make the learning more fun, okay, for our students. Okay. Let's now look at the agriculture drone applications. Most of you are experts in the agriculture drone application. So here I have 6 major applications by the agriculture drone. One is to map and survey the land, and also they can do soil assessment and crop monitoring, and to make sure any piece of the land is healthy for farming purpose. Also, you can use agricultural drone to automate the irrigation and drainage process. And the farmer can also use the drone to spray fertilizer and pesticide to make sure they are evenly sprayed out. Okay, to make sure the fertilizer and pesticides are not overused. Okay, and of course they can also do the harvest planning, as my student at the global camp have done. The last drone application, also here, let's look at the commercial drone applications. Here are all the different things you can do for commercial purpose, right? Security, law enforcement, inspection of power line, furnace. They can also use it for rescue mission. I think in Taiwan we have lots of people interested in climbing the mountain, and they get lost, right? And we couldn't find it, no matter how many people you send out. But what the good thing that you can do with the drone is they can fly out day and night. Okay, and they will be able to quickly locate those people who need help when they get lost, when they couldn't find their way home. People have also been using drone as an internet service provider in some remote area where they don't have any infrastructures for internet. They also been using the drone and to conserve the ecosystem and promote the biodiversity. Okay, the biodiversity. People even, in the real estate industry, they've been using a drone to take a nice picture and video and try to promote the business, get more people interested in buying the property. Okay, so those are some example of commercial drone applications. Let's say it's about military drone application. It's nothing new nowadays to watch the news and seeing the drone, unmanned drone flying around to collect the data for any government. Okay, so the military drone can be used for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance purpose. Iraq, right? When the U.S. government decided to evacuate from Iraq, and they were attacked by terrorists, so they decided to launch, a drone, a strike mission, right, and to take out those terrorists. In addition to that, you can use the drone for combat, communication relay, and destruction like enemy air defense, so on and so forth. Okay, so those are also important military drone application. Now you have had an overview of the drone industry. Also, you knew where in the market how drone has been used for different purpose. Now let's try to have a holistic perspective of a drone supply chain. Because it's important. If we know the different segment in the industry, then we would know better which the segment would have more potential, for profitability. Okay, and also with a holistic perspective of drone supply chain, we will have better understanding about what forces will continue to drive the growth of the drone markets. We can also look at the segment of drone supply chain and realize which segment and what stakeholder in which segment, what would they have to do in order to capture or create the value in that segment. Okay, and so let's look closely at the drone supply chain. Here is the drone supply chain. Okay, and so what supply chain means? Supply chain basically means from how you move things from the point of origin to the point of consumption. So you look at the drone supply chain, all the activity on the left side are the upstream of supply chain. Every activity on the right side are the downstream of the drone supply chains. So let's look at the segment of the drone supply chain from the upstream all the way to the downstream. So you have a better understanding about the drone supply chains. It started with the components, right? To have a drone industry, you first need to have all the essential components, right? In order to make a drone. So that include battery, gimbals, payload, sensor, motors. Those are all important. Once you have all the components, what you need is someone who can integrate those components and turn them into a consumer or commercial drones, right? And so here we are talking about the OEM, the company. I think the Taiwanese company is in a very good position of being an OEM for combining all the parts of a drone. Once you have a drone for commercial or personal use, what you need to do is to have infrastructures for operation. Infrastructure includes landing gears, station, right? A charging station, a portal, right? All the physical the infrastructure you need. Okay, and once you have the infrastructure ready, what you have to do is optimize the operation. So AI, artificial intelligence, software, raw optimization planning software, GPS, right? Those are also important, right? How you be able to help, operate a drone in a more efficient and effective ways. And once you pass that, you have to have lots of people to be trained to become a certified pilot, right? Drone pilots, right? And so it's important to have a training, and so you can try to grow as many certified drone pilots as possible. A drone, it's a powerful machine, right? And can also be used for malicious purpose. And think about if a terrorist intercept a drone and then try to equip a drone with a gun, right? They can do a lot of damage. And so it's important also from the operational and safety perspective, how will you be able to prevent and mitigate any potential drone-related threats? Okay, that's also important. The supply chain, drone supply chain segments. Once you have all the full operation, what you have to think about is what can you do with those operations, right? What will be the benefit that you can bring to customer, different stakeholders? So we are talking about the support system, ecosystem, right? In order to do that, to make a drone into a profitable market, you have to think about all the regulation, insurance, distribution, consulting, right, and training. Once the drone go out, collect the data back, how do you deal with the data? It's a big data age, right? And so you need a software, that business analytics, data analytics software, who will be able to process the image data, process any data that has been collected by the drone. And from the data analysis, you should be able to come out with a new service or better service and to help optimize the entire the drone supply chains. Okay. And lastly, what's missing is a platform where the data can be collected from everywhere and to be aggregated, cleansed, processed, and regenerate of the new value and to help more stakeholders in the supply chains. So this is a drone supply chain. And here is another chart to show you which segment of the drone supply chain is now getting the most attention from the investors and startups. Okay, so there are 4 areas that have been highlighted. Okay, OEM, navigation, data management, and multi-segment. Right, we talked about at the beginning when we talk about an overview of the drone, the market, the software and the service. Right, the downstream part are very important. On this, the stakeholder, investors, can realize the value of the drone. Otherwise the drone can never take off. Right, the business opportunity can never take off. So those are things you want to look carefully. So if you are involved in the drone supply chain, and these are the 4 areas that's gaining the most attention nowadays. With the now understanding of drone supply chain, it's getting easier for you to understand the future development of the drone industries. So here are 5 areas as a reference. And if you look at surveillance, operation, entertainment, advertising, application of the drone, they are fairly mature, other than the long-range surveillance, right? And that area, the military application, has been particularly interested. How will you be able to have a drone, go out, fly around, collect all the data back, and analyze the information? But the area that are still growing and have not matured is the signal emission, transportation, and delivery. They're still at the early stage of a product life cycle for the drone business, and you still have 1 to 5 to 10 years of the opportunity to grow. When you look at the drone supply chain, you also have to think about what will be the force driving the continual growth of drone supply chains. And here is a pyramid for you to get a big pictures. There are 5 major factors that will influence the drone business growth. First, you need to have infrastructure. Second, each local market needs to have a regulation to support the drone business. The drone technology itself needs to have improved technology capability. And lastly, value. Where are the value? Where are the economic value? Who will be benefited from that? Okay, you have to be able to convince those stakeholder investors. Lastly, public, everyone, who even though not operating a drone, and user, be embracing the drone technology. Are they receptive to the idea of using a drone to do service for them? And Professor Zhang and his team and I are particularly interested in 3 areas, 3 factors. One is technology capability, second regulation, and third is the public acceptance. So I'm going to share with you some findings from our previous studies. And so far, I have done 5 research projects on drone adoptions. And the first two was about using drone for logistics purpose, right, for last mile delivery service. The third one is about the COVID-19 environmental disposition. We want to see, with all the social distancing and environmental concern, how would user react to the adoption intention of drone delivery service? Will they change their attitude toward drone delivery service? But the two major research I'd like to share with you are the research project that Professor Zhang and I have done. We had the opportunity to interview and survey farmers from Taiwan. We want to find out what would motivate them to switch to agricultural drone from the traditional farming. Is it because of the risk of not switching, or is it because of the benefit of doing the switching? And also we take a closer look at the government support. And we also want to see what kind of government support is important, okay, and whether technology novelty could help and motivate Taiwanese farmers to switch to agricultural drones. So here are the findings I would like to share with you. This is the first finding. This is a research model we use. So we basically look at the perceived risk of not doing anything, which is the traditional farming, or the benefit of adopting agricultural drone. So there's a force to push them away from traditional farming. Also, there's another force to pull them into agriculture, the drone farming. Okay, drone farming. And we found out efficiency is the reason. They have found the Taiwanese farmer a primary concern the decreased efficiency of traditional farming. That could be due to aging population, and the mismanagement of the farming. But because of the decreased efficiency concern and also the increased efficiency exploitation of agricultural drone, and they've been many farmers have been motivated to change to the agricultural drone. But this is not a full story. You also have to look at the government regulatory support. And we found out the government regulatory support is so important to lower the perceived risk and encourage the farmers in Taiwan to switch to agricultural drones. Let me quickly share with you another finding from another study with the emphasis of government support. And as you can tell, with a strong solid line indicating government regulatory support and government resource support are so important for the success of agricultural drone adoptions. And also many farmers decide to give it a trial of agricultural drone. It's because of the technology novelty, not because of the efficiency reason. So from government perspective, how will you be able to encourage a farmer in Taiwan to willing to take risks? And so that the government regulatory support and resource support play an important role. So let me share with you some lessons that I have learned from U.S. government regulatory support, and so we can all learn from the American experience. So what happened was in 2016, the U.S. government passed the FAA Part 17 article. So basically a rule allowing the user, the individual user, to fly a drone to make money, to look for business opportunity. The problem was that with the Article 107, the drone operator was not able to fly a drone at night over people or even from moving vehicles unless they get a special permission. Okay, but since April 21st, 2021, the operation over people use, became effective. So guess what? Now the Amazon could, beginning now, since April 2021, last years, they can now offer the prime air service. Okay, so very soon, this year, next year's, beginning of next year, you will start seeing Amazon offering the called Prime Air service. If you order anything from Amazon, you can expect to get your order delivered within 30 minutes or less. And the way they do it is through a drone. Okay. And what the government regulatory support is doing even more nowadays is they came up with lots of waivers, right? Lots of waivers because drone is not. They have different kind of size, type, functionality, capability, and in order to help more people capitalize the business opportunity with a drone, they now issuing a lot of waivers. So if you really have if you want to make a special case to fly a drone without visual contact and from a moving vehicle, or try to fly multiple drones at the same time over at night, now you have a waiver you can apply for. Okay, and they give you an idea about in order for a drone to continue to grow and to become successful, even become internationally competitive, it's important for government to be involved to relax the regulation. And so the drone industry could take off. So those are the major the finding I have just shared with you, about the drone, the industry from an international and also from supply chain perspective. And I hope that you have now known that there's so many business opportunities, for us, for you, to be involved in the drone industries. So the opportunity is unlimited. The imagination is it's only limited with your creativity. I hope you're going to have a success in your drone business, and look forward to hearing lots of breakthrough, technology breakthrough and business model revolution from drone business, in Taiwan. Okay, thank you for your listening, and you let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.